Glitch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no grace. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no day. Fuck around and end up going. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Goodies on my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough. You need the whole team. I've been a G since I got been a buck, so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick in me. I'm pumping out these dope bars to take it. Still low insecurities. Now or never, like Glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn a page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a dance. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, rip control to see, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys E&E, you in trouble, kid. At first 100 mil, you can double. Let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show, let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough, get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go, gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show, let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough, get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go, gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Flow sick around the jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shine the king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shake the extras, that's business starter B. Street blues, what I talk, boy, your blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, burn gully mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane nonstop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we begging pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo. Shout out LeBron. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot. Then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pulled the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go,
tickets.
let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough, get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go, gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough, get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go, gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga.
Let's go. Yeah. What up, what up, what up? Y'all already know what it is. It's the man about time, Virgil, a.k.a. Stats with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another Spiritual Roots Sunday with me and my Pops. We about to get Pops on the phone here in a second. Andrea, what's good? Uncle Diggity, what's good? How y'all doing today, man? It's a beautiful Sunday today. I gotta say so myself. I don't know about where y'all at, but out here in Columbus, Ohio, it was a beautiful day. Beautiful. You hear me, man? Absolutely beautiful. And I definitely enjoy my day today. I just took my daughter home. Excuse me being just a tad bit late. You know what I mean? I had to take my baby girl home. You know, we hung out for a little bit, came over for dinner. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know how that is, man. So I know y'all ain't tripping, man. What's up with y'all though, man? Is y'all ready, man? Y'all ready for this teaching tonight, man? You know what I'm talking about? Who tapped in last night and see my young brother drip the Don on the demonstration or my fault, on the platform yesterday? Last night. My young brother drip the Don. Tell y'all, man, he about to blow. And you know, if y'all was tapping in last night, just remember where the first place y'all saw young drip the Don, man, when y'all see him everywhere. You know what I mean? But, oh yeah, he was on the first show. Cause the young brother's definitely going places, you hear me? Oh, you already know, Uncle Diggy. That's what's up. What you got cooking tonight, brother? What you got over there? What you got over there populating tonight, man? Throwing something on the grill? Putting something together real quick? Yeah, man. We just made some air fried chicken, some fried chicken with some fried rice, you know. Something light. Nothing major, you know, something light. Something light on a Sunday night. You know what I'm talking about, man? Andrew, what you cook for dinner? Okay, then. So we was in the same mindset a little bit, Uncle Diggity, with the Korean barbecue chicken, fried rice, and broccoli. Okay. We just did the fried rice with onions in it. My daughter don't like peas and carrots, so I just opted to leave the peas and carrots out. So I just made the fried rice with onions and fried chicken and air fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? Something light. You know, something light. You know what I'm talking about, man? What's good with y'all though, man? Who tapped in? Who was tapped in last night and seen the young brother drip the Don on the demonstration? I keep saying that. I got see the young drip the Don. Yeah, you know, something like Uncle Diggity, man. Who see my young homie drip the Don on the show last night, man? You hear me? I must have listened to that wasted song like 10, 12 times today, man. My little bro hot, you hear me? He's very talented and he's definitely going places. So y'all should definitely go tap in with his music, man. You know what I'm saying? Just be on the lookout for more exclusive content like that coming from your guy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it coming. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna be playing no games. A lot more content coming just like that. You hear me? Coming just like that. You know what I mean? Gotta diversify the content. You feel me? Gotta keep different subjects popping. You know, different subject matter. You know what I'm talking about? Because we want to confuse the unintelligent artificial intelligence. You know what I'm saying? We want to confuse it. We don't want it to get to know us. You know what I'm talking about? We want it to confuse it. You did? You know what I'm saying? I'm just proud of my young brother. You know what I'm saying? He doing his thing. He in school, Kansas State. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kentucky State. You know what I'm saying? Pursuing a career. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he pursuing his career on all levels. He going to school for it. You know what I'm saying? And he actively making music, making beats, making videos. He got the visuals. He performing. You know what I'm saying? He go perform at schools and stuff like that. My young brother doing his thing, man. And he definitely talented. You know what I'm saying? I'm messing around, play one of his songs in the middle of the show. Saying I ain't gonna do that. Y'all know what Spiritual Roots Sundays, man. Is y'all ready, man? Y'all know it's gonna be a powerful one tonight, man. Get your notebooks ready. You know what I'm talking about? Get your pens ready. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you got everything, you know, got you a nice glass of water or something, you know what I mean? Get your highlighters ready or whatever it is. If you are, you know, if you got you a Bible or whatever the situation is, you know, and get everything ready, man, because we about to get to it. I'm about to get Pops on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know we about to get into it. The spiritual roots of life and death. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much, like I tell y'all, I pretty much just let Pops pick the topic and I just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? unless it's something specifically that, you know what I'm saying, I get a, you know, I get the say so to speak on, so to speak. You feel me? I pretty much just let my, you know what I'm saying, let Pops come up with all of that, and I just, you know, I just go off of him. You know what I mean? But if it leans on me, or if I'm leaned on to speak on something, y'all can best believe we're gonna speak on it. So, you know what I'm talking about, man. Y'all make sure y'all, like I said, get your notebooks ready, get your pens ready, and all of that, because y'all know we about to go in with another master class. Well, I ain't gonna say master because there's only one master. I'm saying another next level teaching. You feel me? Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Y'all know how we do it over here on Sundays, man. And if you're new to the situation, you know, y'all can do the same. Same applies to y'all. Get your notebooks ready. I suggest right now, if you're in the clouds watching, you know what I'm talking about, go get you a pen or two. Get you a nice pen. Get you a notebook, some paper. You know what I mean? And get ready to take some notes, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, Jews are definitely going to be dropped tonight. So, you know what I'm saying? I strongly suggest that you get a pen and a paper when you follow along and take these notes. You know what I'm talking about, man? What's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing today, man? It's Sunday. You know, Spiritual Roots. I'll be looking forward to these Sundays, man. You know what I'm saying? Like last night, I was looking forward to that because, you know what I'm saying, I know what my young brother about to do, and I just want him to, you know what I'm saying, have all the shine he could get. But every Sunday, I'll be excited, y'all. You hear me? I'll be excited every Sunday because I know it's Spiritual Roots Sunday, and I know that we about to get to it. My pops is always going to come through with a powerful, powerful teaching. Go, Professor. What's good with you, big bro? Y'all make sure y'all go over there to my homie Go Professor, man, chopping up that early morning game. You know what I'm talking about? On the heavy side, man. You already know, Go Professor, man. Same to you, brethren. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get Pops here on the phone in a second. We're about to get right to it. You did. Tomorrow night, we going in. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all have probably seen the video or the post for it already. If y'all go to my page right now, tomorrow night, we going in. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow night, we're going in on breaking down and dissecting, you know what I'm saying, Behold a Pale Horse. How many of y'all heard of that book before? I know a lot of y'all done heard of that book before. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah. And also, for Wednesday nights, y'all, hold on, let me do this right here. Yeah. For Wednesday night, y'all know they be hating on the stuff, so what we're going to do, we're going to still do it on YouTube. But if you want to go catch the replay, you're going to have to go to the Patreon. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on, not yet. Damn, they still reviewing it. So, oh man, that's crazy. So I guess they still don't even worry about that, y'all. Don't even take that Patreon. Don't pay that no attention. You know what I'm saying? Don't even pay that no attention, y'all. I just looked in there. They still reviewing the account. So I guess I gotta wait to get back to finish setting everything up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it just said. Damn, I thought it was good to go. Yeah, don't even pay attention to that link right there, y'all. But Wednesday, we going in. We going in Wednesday, Monday. Let me pull it up real quick, y'all, so I can just give y'all accurate information. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give y'all no misinformation or disinformation. Make sure I get y'all all the way accurate. Let me just do this. Yeah, we got some nice shows coming up this week, y'all, man. We getting straight to it all week. My brother Red going in at 11:35. So make sure y'all tap in with Red at 11:35. right? This is what we got coming up for tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we got coming up, right? We got dissecting and discussing the classic book, Behold the Pale Horse by Bill Cooper. All right, y'all hear me? How many of y'all read Behold the Pale Horse before? So yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be a beautiful situation tomorrow. Make sure y'all tap in for that. You know what I'm saying? Then Tuesday, with me and my brother L, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know me and King L's going in on Tuesday. The Black Truth is the Black Truth illegal? Featuring my brother King L's, man. We're gonna be talking about reparations and we're gonna be talking about a whole other bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap in on Tuesday. Me and L's going in. You know what I mean? Title of the show is the Black Truth illegal? You know, man, everybody else, other group of people can celebrate their roots and their culture and their heritage and their history and celebrate it. But it seems like now, especially since we doing ours, especially now reparations is on the table and all this stuff with hip hop and trying to hijack our history from us. You know what I'm saying? It's seemingly you would think that it's illegal for us to speak our truth and about our history and not letting nobody hijack it or rewrite it, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about on Tuesday. Make sure y'all tap in for that. Then on Wednesday, you know what I'm saying, exposing the Demon Time music industry, right? Ozzy Osbourne edition. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be breaking down Ozzy Osbourne classic song and his ode to founder of the Luciferian Satanic Church in America, Aleister Crowley. So, you know, Wednesday we're going in for that. Thursday night, ladies' night, I ain't came up with nothing for it yet. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple things I wanted to discuss. I want to pick from like 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? And you already know Friday night wrap up how we do it. Next Saturday, still up in the air too. We're going to have something popping for y'all though. So y'all know how we do it, man. But y'all know tonight, Spiritual Roots Sundays, we get into it. Make sure y'all tap in and walk with us, man. Tomorrow going to be beautiful, man. We're going to go in on that Behold the Pale Horse. How many of y'all done read that book? How many of y'all done read Behold the Pale Horse before? Yeah, we're going to get into that tomorrow, man. I'm about to get Pops on the phone. Let me call him up. Hold on real quick. All right, go ahead and talk to the people, Pops, man. We ready to go.
All right, how's everybody out there in YouTube land? Hope everybody having a good week. And hope everything went all right with you. God bless you. You multiply. You replenish the earth. You can do that in a whole lot of ways. Good to be among you again. Me and my son, we discussed this particular topic we decided to talk about tonight. And I thought that I was led to just give some insight to it, because a lot of people, man, really wrestle with this. And we call it the spiritual roots of life and death of man. Because we all now lost loved ones. It's a reality that we definitely all have to go someday. It's a part of life. It's a part of reality. It's real. And we have to deal with it. We have no choice. It's going to happen regardless. We have no control over it, no say-so about it. So the best thing to do is to be able to accept it. It affects us in 2 main different ways. One is our loved ones that we become close to, a part of in our life, out of our life. People, mankind, just don't have to be just family. It could be anyone that you feel that you care about and is important to you and close to you. Then you have yourself. You always think about dying. death, not necessarily taking your own life, but still death always is a thought in your mind, one way or another sometimes. Some is constantly. Some it all depends on how one's accepted. So I was just glad that we're going to get more a little into it, and it'll help shed some light. Like I said, we don't go deep here. We just shed light. Give you an understanding. Can anyone out there hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So put on your spiritual seatbelts. Seems like every time we get together, it gets a little bit more and more intense because we're dealing with reality of life, and mainly we're dealing with ourselves and who we are. So that's all me and my son try to do is shed some light, and this will be a blessing. We know that God is involved in this. He's orchestrating this. He's just using me and my son to just put the word out there, like you said, going to all the earth and spread the kingdom of God, the good news. Well, this is all a part of the good news. You know, I'm bringing it just like Jesus and the disciples in the Old Testament days were part of it. If you believe all that existed and was real and really happened, then we are the offspring of that. So we have to continue it on, and that's what me and my son be doing. So, you know, like I said, the topic is the spiritual roots of the life and death of man and what happens to him from there. Now, this probably ends up being a part 2 because I have a lot to share with you.
So it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, but it's I mean, I can give it all to you, but it's so much about it. You know? I'm only going to give you a little bit of it anyway to digest spiritually. You know, you can't give too much at one time.
Yeah. We don't want to oversaturate y'all. You know, we don't want to overwork y'all. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We got to leave them with some of their brain matter to function with, Pops, man.
And then it's about as much as the natural mind can handle it, and then how much more of the spiritual mind receives it.
Mm-hmm.
On the individual, all right? That's what this is all about.
Yes, sir.
But we always go to the beginning, the foundation, and that's the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You have to always remember the seed, because that's what brought forth everything that what was and what is and what is to be, and now is. All right? It all stems from the seed. It's a continual cycle. It's even happening now. It never stops from that very point.
Right.
But a footnote. Now, like I said, have your spiritual seatbelts on.
And get your pens ready, man. Get your notebooks ready, man. Hit that like button too, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, and all of that. Let's go.
I always say that, you know, give those the spiritual ears and eyes to hear and to see, you know, and for those that who are not ready yet for it, that it plant in them anyway, because that's what seeds do. You know, I plant seeds, I go direct to the spirit and the heart and the soul of a man. I go right by the flesh. I don't even deal with the flesh, but that's my opposition right there anyway.
Right.
So you feel me what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Those that who might resist it or reject it, it doesn't hurt me, because where I'm putting this seed, which is the word of God, it bypasses your flesh, your body, and it goes back to where it's supposed to go to. So you can't intercept it. You can't stop it. You know, once it's gone, it's there, and it's going to be there. So I'm saying that is that. Also, in that seed of knowledge of knowing good and evil was also death. Yes, death was also a part of that seed and in that seed as well. I'll let you chew on that for a second momentarily to digest it for those who see it and grabbing it spiritually. I'm just waiting for you to just have the response and the reaction to it. I'll let you enjoy it, because there's something when you get a spiritual revelation.
Right.
But yes, death was also in that seed as well. Because if you remember that what God told Adam, he said that the day that you shall eat thereof of that fruit from that tree, he said the day that you shall surely what? Die. Now, what death was he talking about? He had to be talking about physical death because there's no death in spiritual life. Eternal don't have death, so it's got to be the body, the flesh he was referring to from the beginning. Am I right?
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong.
Physical death. So death was also in and part of that seed that he partook of. So he said, in the day that ye shall eat of it. In other words, as soon as it touched your mouth, boom. Just like venom from a snake, how poisonous it can be and get into your bloodstream just that quick and just take you out. Okay, that's what they said, but that is. That's what death. So he ingested that and he began that to come upon him. So that's why we die. That's what death is, okay? That's why death is in our life. Some people are brand that, and I know they were already done prayed and did what I had to do in the spiritual realm for those to receive all that. I always do that before I have my podcast anyway. I always put my YouTube listeners and family first. Me and God have a talk about them when I give them what he gives me to give to y'all. And he knows who's going to receive it, who's going to reject it. It ain't gonna mess nobody up. The best thing to do is just mess with your heart, you know, and scramble your brain up a little bit. But as far as your soul, your heart, and your spirit, that's where it does get good at for you anyway. Especially when you're hungry and seeking. So death was also in a part of that seed. Now, we would like to know why that it affects us so and so hard.
Right.
So hard, you know. The emotional effect that it has on us. All right? This is a part of what death does from having what we call side effects, because it's a part of you in you, just like everything else is a part of you in you. The effect of death has a very emotional hold on you. You know? One, because it touches every aspect of you. You know? It affects you in every way. Your body, your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind, your body. And we have to learn how to be able to accept it in a way that it presents itself and not be to where the devil uses it for a tool and he uses it to hold you with fear.
Wow.
That's connected. That's a part of the side effect that death has on us, you know, on man. Okay, these are the things that happens to man. Okay. If he accepts death, it just helps him out that much more to understand it. Because you can prepare yourself to where that you don't have to let death get a hold of you. And you say, well, how can you say that, Brother Barrett? Well, for one thing, God did. That's what Jesus said. He said he came down here and he did what? He stripped the devil of what? Of all his power. See, people thought the way that Jesus said that they got it confused, thinking that the devil also had the power of death in him, in his hands, and he did not.
Right.
You have to hear that spiritually. Jesus said that he came down here to strip the devil of all his power. And he took the keys of death and life from him. He stripped him. All the powers that what Satan had, is being Lucifer, even before he fell, is what we're talking about too. Can you imagine if he was able to use that power he had up there in heaven with God, if he was able to use it down here as he done failed and became Lucifer, Satan?
And the devil.
How much would mess and terrorize and mess man up? That's why he had to not stay in the same state that he was in. No one stayed the same after the fall took place. I said that once before in one of my podcasts. Everything changed. Everything. The spiritual became more real and the physical was already real. And it became and appeared real. It was already like it was from the beginning, but it only looked different once Adam and Eve fell. Then the real world, what we see right now and live in, was revealed to them. That's what they saw. chew on it a little bit.
That's deep right there, Pops, man. For real, man.
Understand who we are. That's why when we just see ourselves as just simply being flesh and blood and bone, that's why death has such a hold on us in a way of being fearful, because we don't recognize that first we're spiritual. Wow. We are spirit.
Death as we perceive it in this reality through this conduit, if you will, we call a body, is an illusion.
Right.
All right. I'm going to repeat that. Death as we experience it in this reality is an illusion. Based solely off of what my pops just said. Energy, spirit cannot die or be destroyed. It can only be transferred from what, Pops? One object to another, or one reality to another. Now, by what ways or means is that happening? That's where we're at right now in this reality, as it is being more and more assimilated into the hive mind of Lucifer, Satan, the devil. Right. Now, what my pops just said was very profound and very revelatory. You hear me? It goes along with what I say about this reality. That's why when I say that, you feel me? Because when and it also goes back to how everything in this reality is an expression or representation of that fall, especially through the threefold entity we know as Lucifer, Satan, the devil. You hear me? Now, it was stripped of his power, right? What my pops just said, stripped of his power, right? Not all of his power. Am I correct, Pops?
That's right.
Not all of his power, just his. How could I say it, Pop? Just his heavenly holy power. How about that? Right. But he was allowed to have the power he has in this reality. And think about it. This reality isn't real. It is a copy of the actuality. So any power that Lucifer had in this reality upon becoming Satan and the devil, guess what? His power isn't real. You understand what I just said, y'all? I said the power that we believe or made to think or believe he has in this reality, it isn't real. It's only real if you believe it is or think it is. And that is what I mean when I say through the metaverse, they want to sync and link us to the hive mind of the smart grid or Lucifer, Satan, the devil. Do y'all understand the level of teaching that y'all's getting over here on Spiritual Root Sundays, man? Let me come up real quick, Pause. Do y'all really understand the level of teaching that y'all getting over here, man? Huh? And I know some of y'all, I know my brother, uncle. Do y'all understand what me and my pops is saying to y'all right now? Right? When we're talking about life and death, when we're talking about Lucifer never, at one point in time, when he was in his heavenly holy state, before he thought he could swindle the throne or he thought he deserved it and wanted to usurp God's power. Do y'all understand that in that state, you understand that he had the power over life and death? But as a result of wanting to abdicate the throne from the Most High God, right? Which took that jealousy, that anger, that took on a life of his own, and he became Satan, the devil, and was cast out and came down here. This reality, which originally was the earth, became the world, which is the fallen state of the earth. You understand what I'm saying? And being stripped of those powers specifically, because just like my pa said, if he actually had the power over life and death in this reality, it would have been took it over. People ask me all the time, possible, if these entities or whatever you talk about, they're so powerful, why don't they just take over the world? Because they can't.
Exactly.
Simple answer. Because they can't. I mean, it's a simple answer, y'all, because they can't. They can only do it with our permission. This is what gives us more power over Lucifer, Satan, and the devil, especially in this reality, because we have the ability to choose whether we want to go this way or that way. You hear me? Next level teaching, man. You hear me? Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell and subscribe to the page, man. Sharing your social engineering, not getting this type of teaching nowhere. Only a few people teaching like this on YouTube, man. I'm telling you that right now. So think about that, though, y'all. Think about that. And I'm about to pass it back to my pop. Think about that, man. Right? The power was stripped from him upon being cast out, coming down in this fallen state, in this reality, which he has dominion over, but the dominion he has is illusory in its essence and aspect. And to make you just think like, man, like capital G, capital O, capital D is a true visionary, man, a true architect. You hear me? Right? And it also goes to show the integrity, because Lucifer is still a part. That's God created Lucifer. It's just them Satan and the devil, right? The Satan and the devil, man. You hear me?
Hey,
what's up?
Let me read off a little bit more of Lucifer, Satan's resume. Give them a little bit more of my YouTube family, a little bit more about his characteristics, his personalities, and his traits.
Okay.
And what he has, his personality.
Talk to him.
We dealing with Lucifer, the cherubim, the archangel, the one and only angel that had wings, that had music in it. That's why music is built on earth.
Right.
So when you add his portfolio and see what he is, now when he was cast out, he didn't lose none of that. That went with him, it just turned evil. Okay?
Right.
It was the dark side. You know, y'all seen Star Wars and all these old space movies about all these, so y'all know that. So it ain't hard for y'all to be in the spirit realm because it's always around you anyway. And you're aware of it. You acknowledge it every time you watch a space movie, a sci-fi movie. Biology movie. Anything that you watch on TV that has to do with man, it's always going to be particular. It's going to reflect God and his infamously. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Whatever man puts out there, not see God in the background of it, because that is of God. That's the only way man can put it out there of himself. So you can't never excuse God to put him out the picture, no matter how hard you try. He instantly shows up. You can't stop him from appearing. Just nature itself speaks of his existence. You know what I'm saying? The invisible things you cannot see. But the things that you can see let you know who he is, being invisible, that what you can't see. By the things that you do see. And look how we marvel about just nature. When he talks about things what man put here since he's been here, we talking about God's work, his art craft, his design, his invention, his building. You know, man can build tall skyscrapers, but they can't take a big old hole and put it in the ground and put water in it just to stand there. Man can't do that. Mountains that you can climb so high can't even breathe. That's why I say look at the artwork of God. But anyway, so therefore, getting back to that, so we never get off our road we're on.
Right.
We're saying about the spiritual realm. It's endless. You can take one thing and go so many places with it and still stay within the same perimeter of what you're talking about. That's what I love about the spiritual word of God. What I love about the spiritual realm. You got to be able to know how to move in it and be with it and deal with it like you do in the natural realm. How much more y'all to be aware of that in the spiritual realm and being spiritual conscious? That's what God wants his people, mankind, to wake up to. You are a spirit. Getting back to what I say, what happens to us when we no longer have these bodies? Goes back to the dust. He said that from the beginning. From dust you come from, and from dust you go back to. Okay. So there goes your body, your flesh. That's one part of you down. Now, what are we? We made up of three things, right?
Right.
Body, mind, or body, soul, and spirit. We are a spirit that has a soul that lives in a body. God first from that vessel. A vessel is something that you use, which you already know, to hold something in that is of importance.
Right.
Or what that it has to hold. It's something else that is needed to hold that which you're going to put inside of it, of the substance that it is. I'm not losing anybody on my. I know I'm not, because I know what I'm saying. Everybody grabbing it and understanding it. There ain't gonna throw no confusion and chaos in my podcast to make the receiver not receive it. Only ones that don't receive it are the ones that's not ready to receive it. Okay, and that's on them. It ain't on no interference from the enemy in the airways. Remember, he's what, in darkness, right, of the air. I to these people, you know, I could go on endlessly with so many ways about this, but I'm always staying within my frame. So this is one part of man down, his body, his flesh. So now he still has the soul and his spirit. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So now what happens to that? Okay, now we don't have the flesh to contend with no more. Okay, it's not even in this realm no more.
It's not even in the equation.
It's back to where it's supposed to be, where it came from anyway. Everything goes back to its proper place.
Hey, Pops, I'm about to go run and grab something to drink real quick. Go ahead, talk to him. I'll be right back.
All right.
Go ahead.
And this is what I want to convey to my YouTube family, is for us to understand this. See, once I always say, once you know about who you are, then you'll know about who God is. When you know who God is, you'll know who you are. Okay? But first you have to know who He is. So you'll know your place in Him, because you are a spirit. And if you believe God is real, the capital God, God, Almighty, okay, that's just His identity name for man. But He's a spirit, is what He is. I used to try so hard at times to ask God about, okay, you say you a spirit. You say you am that you am. So many things. Okay. What, and who are you? I just outright asking people. I mean, you ask men questions about things, right? And you a man, he a man. Well, you a spirit. God's a spirit. So why I can't ask God things about spiritual things like I ask the natural man about natural things? Especially the one that created and made me. I'm going to get the truth first of all. And then eventually going to get the right answer. And I was asking, bro, what really are you? How can you explain to me in words that I can understand, apprehend, and comprehend, and mean, and see? What are you saying when you tell me who you are? And this is what he told me. I'm an entity. But what is the entity? I'm power. How many times I use the term power? The word is power. I'm power. You're invisible. You can't be seen. Yes, I can't be seen. Every time you open your eyes and look out into the world and see trees, you see me. Yes, you do see me. People, y'all have had spiritual experiences with God. Like I said, when God wants your attention, He's going to get your attention. Apparently, He wants your attention if He got you hooked up with me. And me hooked up with you, because we're helping each other. So getting back to you, now you don't have your body no more. So then your soul. So what happens to your soul? Where do your soul go? What is your soul? How many people can actually really, truthfully tell me you know really what it is when you say your soul? Now you have one. What is your soul to you? The consistent of what your soul is. The understanding, the meaning of what your soul is to you. What is it? Is it something tangible? Physical? See? You know you have it. You can classify it of what it is that you have when you say your soul. Now, when you can deal with yourself about you and your soul, you can pick up a whole lot of things about you and your spirit. You can't get to your spirit until you deal with your soul.
So with that being said,
you're going to a higher level and into a whole nother realm.
Right. So with that being said, your spirit and your soul is not the same thing.
Exactly.
So we often get the two confused, and through language, right? The thing that locks us into the hive mind of Lucifer, Satan, the devil, right? We have been tricked through word association to associate the two as being the same thing, when in all actual reality or actuality, they're two different things. And the body's a whole different thing in itself. Am I right or am I wrong, Pops?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I'm going to give some enlightenment on it. I'm not going to leave my family in the dark.
Right.
You know, and who's still wondering what, trying to catch up or still trying to digest. That's why I said I'm not rushing no one to receive it. They'll receive it the way that they're supposed to, if they do, and if they're supposed to. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm not concerned so much worried about how it's going on the receiving end, because it's going to do what it's supposed to do anyway, because God's supposed to straighten this, not me anyway.
Right.
But moving along, I'm going to give some more enlightenment and some more insight into about the soul of man, okay? I can't speak too much about, hello, everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Pops.
Okay. About everybody else's soul, but I can share with you about my soul.
Right.
And my soul means to me, and my definition of my soul, knowing I am a soul and have a soul, and all the consistence of what a soul is. So I'm going to share it with you. The soul is where everything about you in the physical and the natural has to deal with. All right? Your conscious, your feelings, your emotions, your heart, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings.
Right.
Your action. Okay. Where good and evil war against each other, to which one is going to manifest up out of your body, your flesh, from out of you, from a part of your soul. This is what's in your soul. Okay? When you hate somebody, that's in your soul. That's where the heart is at. That's where the mind is at. Where your thoughts are at. Your feelings. Your ideals, everything about you, what you think, what you feel, how you act, your reactions, that's part of your living. That's a part of your soul. Being conscious, being aware of where you at in the world around you. That's what cautious means, to be wise, to have wisdom, to know. To be aware of, to see things, and react and respond to. That's all a part of the soul. You cut a person's heart open, you're not going to find none of the things of the emotions that a person has in them if you cut it open. You're not going to find hate in there.
Talk to him.
You're not going to have and see anger and all the other negative things of what comes up out of us, of our emotions that we feel and what we say. Don't you know the heart and tongue is hand in hand with one another?
They're best friends.
The heart releases what it really feels and what it's really saying, and the tongue delivers it and make it all go to be here and known and heard. What you feel in your heart and what you think in your mind, totally two different things and two different avenues. And if you don't line them up just right, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have a crash when it finally comes out.
You want to know something, Pops? I just was having this discussion with somebody literally yesterday, right? And I'm telling them that the mind and the heart, although they are connected, they're not the same.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm sitting here having this discussion with him, right? And I'm telling him, like, basically, and this is a beautiful thing we having this discussion tonight, because I just was telling him, I'm like, your heart and your mind is not the same thing, although they're connected, right? They're connected, but they're not the same, right? Emotions, right? Emotions are a part of what we are, but not who we are, right? That's why when my pops just said, when we become emotional, which we weren't designed to be emotional, we were designed to experience, and like how can I say, we were designed to experience and be able to pick out what emotions we are expressing or why we are experiencing them, you know what I mean? But we're not to identify with our emotions as if they are what make us who we are, when they do not. They are merely an expression of the reality, if that makes sense to y'all. You know?
Yeah, that's but see, man has to understand that those are a part of what is of him.
Right.
That's not what he is.
That's why it's beautiful that we're having this discussion.
Yeah, you just said that.
Right.
First, like I said, man, he's a spirit first.
Right.
Then he's dirt.
Right.
Then he's flesh.
Right.
Okay. Then he becomes a human.
Not a human being.
No, he's both, but first he's human. You have to understand what human is. Human is natural, physical, tangible.
Yes, but hold on, let me just say this. Not a human being. Just human.
Right, just human.
We'll get to that a little bit later, man. Go ahead, Pops.
But see, word has been added on for him to be a human being. Now, this is what being is for man. This is man's word. This is man's terminology.
Talk to him.
Because God never referred to that as a being.
Never, ever. Not when you won't find it nowhere in the scripture where you find God referring to humans and human beings.
Even in the word of God, God always refers to him either as human or man. Or dealing with the natural part of it, the physical part, or dirt, or dust. Okay? That's like what I said about what man is, dirt, fresh. You know, you're nothing but dust. Dirt from the earth. That's what man is. When you say man, you say earth. Because that's what man is, because he came from the earth. But spirit, see, made in the image and the likeness. God said, let us make man. This physical thing we get ready to make, we're going to call it man, but we're going to make him in our image and our likeness, which will make him be spiritual and a part of us spiritual, because we're spiritual. That's why you pick it first.
And when they said create them in our image, he wasn't talking about no damn aliens. He was talking about the heavenly holy court council, right? Of his angelic council, right? And he created that. So, you know.
And this, I'm going to give y'all a footnote and a little revelation on something.
Talk to him, Pops.
That Jesus said it. It's the only one of us kind in there when he said it. I think Paul speaks about it and when he writes to the churches. But he speaks about that we're nothing but aliens passing through here. We're the only aliens, people. And the children of God, those who become a part of God, the saints, the believers. We ain't talking about Christians. We ain't talking about religious people. Jesus said, everybody that coming to me saying, Lord, Lord, they ain't going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And don't believe everybody when they tell you that I am of the Christ. When they say I am the Christ, they ain't talking about being the Antichrist. They're talking about they're part of Christ. And they're Christian. Okay, that's when they mean that when they say that.
Right.
They say that many shall come in his name saying that I am of the Christ. You know, I'm a part of the spiritual body, church. The spiritual church of God. That's what they be saying. They don't believe it. So I was just saying all that to say that we got to understand that first of all, you're dirty. Okay, your flesh. You have to understand your spirit first. Right? So anybody can't just come to you and tell you you don't know who you are. You know, you don't identify with them necessarily about something you already know within yourself that you're a spirit first.
Right.
I know who I am, and he was a man in flesh. Did he come down here just like us in our bodies? He was man as well as he was a God, but he still knew who he was on the inside of himself. He knew the spiritual part of him. Not just so much that he was God, the word himself in flesh come among his creation, but he was 100% a man in flesh too. But he said, I know who I am, and I know where I come from. And I know where I'm going back to. Jesus many times let his disciples know that he could get up off of this earth and go back and forth and come in and out of the spiritual realm in the kingdom where he was at from the beginning. The word, he died himself. Remember about the story with Abraham and Sodom and Gomorrah I said last week? How God came down here always many times visiting this earth and man. He was so used to walking, and this is just revelation just now, people. He was so used to being and fellowshipping with Adam back in the garden before the fall that he still kept that promise to himself and still do that with man today. In his state that he's in. He's still coming to visit us. I hope those who see that supposedly see that, but that was fresh off with me. I'm always going to say fresh off the press. Fresh off the presses.
Now, hold on for a second, Pops. Being. This is the answer to your question right here, Uncle Diggy. I'm about to break this down for y'all real quick, all right? Being, right? Let's look it up real quick. Existence, right? Being alive, living. Right? The nature or essence of a person. Now, that's an interesting definition right there. You hear me? Because look at what the words are similar to what this definition of the word is saying. Soul, spirit, nature, essence, substance, entity, inner being, inner self, psyche, heart, bosom, breast, core, kernel, marrow, quiddity, and pneuma. All right. God didn't create us to be a person. Let me just let y'all know that right there. This is an interesting definition of being right here too. A real or imaginary living creature or entity, especially an intelligent one. So when you see this word or, that is representing a differentiating, a separation. Creature and entities are not the same thing. Neither is real or imaginary, right? Is y'all following me right now? Now, the base word of being is be, right? Be, and the meaning of be is to exist, be present, occur, take place, occupy a position in space, stay in the same place or condition, attend, come, go, visit, having the state, quality, identity, nature, role, etc. specified. Right? So when we're talking about being in this base word is representation of something that's not real or it exists, but now I want y'all to understand the difference between living and existing. Right?
Now, son.
What's up?
You know, out all that what you just said, I had on my footnotes. Because like I said, we don't rehearse nothing.
Nothing at all.
We don't even talk to each other until the day of the podcast, and maybe on and off during the week just to get together what the podcast might be about.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And also to check in on you and see how you're doing. You're my son.
Yeah.
I don't want to think it's just about the podcast.
Right. I
have been as in something that is. That is the icing on all that what you just said.
Right.
DEING. It's something that is. It's the body, which is part of man, which is also, because that's two parts of man, he's also a vessel. Now, what is it? Why would God refer to man also as being a vessel if everything that he has in man is already in man anyway? So why would he be a vessel? Vessel for what else? You already have everything you're supposed to have to be a man and to exist, to be alive. You feel me what I'm saying, you two people?
Mm-hmm.
Why would he use terminology in the word vessel? We know we have a body that is a flesh. But okay, so how is it that we also a vessel? Something to put something in. Okay? That's the spiritual connection. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm letting y'all know. Okay, so that's why we're a vessel too, for God's spirit to be a part and in us. We're his vessel for him to be in us. A vessel for ourselves, we're his vessels for him. Present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable duty and your purpose for God. That is your reasonable purpose and duty. To present yourself. Now he's talking about to those who give their life back to Christ, okay, or to God. Y'all know the different transformations you got to go through when you gonna be with God. It's clear to man, the spiritual aspect of it, his roots. That's why me and my son always come out with the spiritual root stuff. We want you to be awoken to knowing who and what you are as a spirit. You have to see that as being yourself first before you can either take another step with your life and in your life or even about your life or anything that has to do with life. Keep on that, and I'm going to move on real quick because it's really getting good and I have so much. But I don't want to overflood you with so much of it, you know. Some won't take through if I do, you know, and it'll give the enemy a chance to try to swoop away something that should be swooped away. So I know how to put a protective shield and barrier around my words.
Right.
Go out there, you know, the devil can't attack them because I know that's what he's going to do anyway, but he can't touch my words.
Right.
You know, powerful for him, but. So where do the soul go? Where is the soul? We know it's not with the body. The flesh went back to earth. So where is the soul at? Now the soul is all the things I just said that were contained within the soul, which is a part of man, okay? Now, okay, so I just asked God this a long time ago when he used to start teaching me and sharing with me.
You already know, Uncle Diggity, man. Well, I'll tell you, we don't practice nothing. We don't exchange notes. We don't sit on the phone like, well, I say this, you gonna say this. This is what we don't do none of that. I'll get with my dad either later tonight or tomorrow sometime. He'll be like, son, let's talk about this. And you know, like I normally let my pops just navigate the ship. I'm just controlling the udders in the back, man.
We don't have rehearsals, you two family.
No.
Practice, and we don't have rehearsals.
Straight off the top, man. Straight freestyling, man. But it's a beautiful thing, though. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like my haircut, man. I just look so handsome. I know. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, Pops.
Now, when you look at the eternal part of the physical anatomy of man, his organs, the heart, the liver, the lungs, we talk about all of them are very important. And everything about a man, inside and out, is important and is needed. God wouldn't have designed it and put it that way. But when you take the main organs, the heart, let's talk to the one that is referring to the man himself, is the mind. Your brain, okay? Your brain. I hope a whole lot of caught that real quick. When you say your mind, you're really saying your brain. And when you're saying the brain, you're really saying your mind.
The brain is the fallen state of the mind.
Okay. You never even see the word brain in the scriptures.
God did not create the brain.
He always said the mind and the heart and the tongue, the feet, the hands, the eyes. Listen at these Bible parts that God names, and you know that they serve a very important part of us because it shows you that when the fall took place and our eyes was open physically, that put all these things which now goes on in us in operation. To go forward and to act and to do what it's supposed to do and work. All from the soul.
Because when we were
it's folks.
No.
We ain't going to pencil his folks.
Right.
Spiritual aspects of him too now. See, some things man do is all physically, all natural, all in his flesh.
Right.
Come on, help me.
Talk some
Then where he did help from his spirit part of him, you know, from his mind, from his imagination, his thoughts, you know, the evilness or the goodness of him coming up in it, what he had in it from having the knowledge of good and evil, from back in the garden when he ate of the forbidden fruit, you know. This is all starting to manifest itself and grow and just go forth. Come out of you, every individual person.
Right.
So now your mind, your brain, your heart, all this is a part of your soul, okay? But where is your soul? Where do most people think their soul are at?
In their heart, in their chest.
To actually tell me where do they think souls go to when they leave this earth, when they're no longer here? Where do they soul? Okay, we already done dealt with the body, the flesh. It went back to dirt. So it that no more. That don't even exist no more now. So there's just two parts of you now left. Your soul and your spirit.
Right.
We ain't even in the natural realm no more, people. Not physically, not far as the body is concerned, the flesh. Okay. That's what death does. When something dies, that part of whatever it is just don't exist anymore. With all things, don't make no difference what it is. It's hard for man to grab it because it's him.
Right. That's one of the illest aspects of the whole situation right there.
And son, this is a footnote, and this is another hot off the press.
Okay.
That's why that when all of creation, they had to suffer also too because of man. It wasn't their fault. That's when killing started, when man first did that back in the garden, when the evil came out in him and whatnot, and all the creation had to be subjected to it. You know, that we the ones started because death was in us first. It wasn't in creation. The animals, the birds. It was in man. That's why man kills. Look how he slaughtered creation. That's what man released in himself also when he partook of that fruit from the tree of knowing knowledge of good and evil. He released it death also. That's why Jesus said that he took death, had power over it. Death wasn't the devil, and the devil wasn't the death. Death was right along inside of that seed. Come on, people. Right along with good and evil. Like I said before, that's why God told Adam, the day you eat thereof, the day. Basically saying the moment, the minute,
the very moment. Don't get it confused, man. Our time is not God's time, man. A 1,000 years could be a day, and a day could be 1,000 years. You know what I'm talking about?
But what it was that as soon as that he got into his body, it immediately started doing what it's supposed to do. That's why we decompose, people.
Every day we die. All day we die. That's why when you come into the world as a baby, you come in crying.
Yep.
Do you understand the level of teaching y'all getting right now, man?
And then there's 2 phases of it, see?
Yeah.
This is really what death does. Death is to stop anything that ceases to exist. That is living. Creation shows that our vegetation, our plants, our flowers, our trees. But we ain't the only ones that die or has to die. Everything dies. And multiply and remultiply. The 3 phases of death is, first of all, it starts off with you're dying. Like my son said from the very beginning, from the very first moment you come into this world, you are automatically on the course of dying. That's what decomposing comes from. I think it has to be what God said, that the day you still have to say you should surely die. So that means that death will come to this body one day.
Exactly.
That's what he is saying, okay? Then you finally die.
But it's not you. Your body dies, not you, not your soul or your spirit.
It's still your soul, and still 2 parts of you still in existence now. I give it all y'all to digest that a little bit.
Yeah, man, that's deep. That's powerful.
Same way that leaves do.
Right.
Same way that everything else do, that when it sheds, when it reaches its point.
Right.
Then that's when people say, oh, he's dead. Listen what the last word of that is. I said dying at first, then I died, now I'm saying dead. D-E-A-D. What do you think is the short version abbreviation of dead? Death. Spell it out. See what it start out with. First 3 or 4 letters of death. So where's your soul at? Now, so I'm pulling up on your thing, the book of Luke, the Gospel of Luke, the 16th chapter. I think it's the 14th verse.
The 16th chapter, 14th verse?
16th chapter. We're going to start at the 19th verse. I'm going to read with because this is going to answer this, what I just set it up for, about where the soul goes. But it's in the book of Luke, the 16th chapter, and we'll start at the 19th verse of it.
I'm getting to it right now. The rich man and Lazarus?
That's right.
All right.
I don't know how many people know that story about the rich man and Lazarus, but it speaks about the very topic what me and my son is talking about tonight. It shows you what happens when once you die. Then it shows on what goes on. And you notice it's not so much focused on about the flesh and the body now. It's about the soul. The soul. And all the things that I just read off about the soul and man, about the physical and natural, tasting, smelling, and all this. Now watch how all this come right into play. And you'll see it and you'll hear it from in the word.
Chaos Rain, what's good with you, bro?
Okay, now let me set it up for you, the scene. What is happening is that it's Lazarus. He's a beggar. He's a poor man.
Right.
Then there's the rich man. Don't get a rich man's name, but he gives Lazarus his name.
Right.
And there's more than one person that is named Lazarus. Because remember, Lazarus that Jesus raised from the dead, and it couldn't be him So now this is another different Lazarus, but he's a poor man. He's a beggar. And he has sores all over and everything from where he's just been neglected. No one taking care of him. No one trying to help him out or nothing. So he's a beggar. He's a vagabond. He sits close to where the rich man stays at. Okay? This is a rich man. He's not a king. He's not none of political power, I would think, but he's just a rich person, like wealthy people are.
Right.
Eating and living lavishly, having and wanting of nothing for the flesh, to the flesh, with the flesh, about the flesh, for the flesh. You know, yeah, everything you think of. Now, the Bible says real quick, there was a rich man who used to dress in purple and linen, enjoying himself day after day with magnificence. But a beggar named Lazarus used to be put at his gate, covered with ulcers. Okay, he had ulcers, and besides to be filled with the things dropping from the table of the rich man, even the dogs would come and lick the man's wounds. Okay. God gave the man some kind of relief from that. That's why I tell you, God runs everything. That's how merciful God is. He'll tell his creation. That way he told all the animals to go into the ark. He'll tell his animals to go help mankind in so many different ways.
Right.
Like the man out the donkey I told you he rode, you know, and Boaz. And this donkey, when he had the donkey told, saved the man's life, you know. It's beautiful, people, when you can get into the Word of God like I have over the years. I paid to know what I know, believe me. It wasn't just given to me.
Right.
Earn this, and I'm proud of it. That's why I never have to defend it.
Right.
Because the words that I speak are so powerful that when it goes to your ears spiritually, once it gets to your ears physically, you know, because it's like a net, some will get in and some won't, and the only way some don't is where the flesh blocks it and respects it or intercepts it. But other than that, it does. So, Lazarus, he's sitting here all messed up. God is giving him comfort and having his dog lick his wounds and his bronchs and everything. This just sets up the background for what's going to happen. Now, they both said that Lazarus, in the course of time, Lazarus the beggar died. Now, he was carried off by angels. Listen, people. By angels. To Abraham, the father of many nations. One that I just got to tell you about what had to do with Solomon and Gomorrah, him being the father of many nations. See how everything that I say to you, that as I move forward with my podcast, it just locks right on there too. And just add on to give you the whole total scene of what's going on at that time. Like I told you, just like a puzzle. And many pieces of a puzzle. And the more you put together, the more you start recognizing and seeing what the picture is. But you'll never see the full picture until you got the full puzzle. And this is all I'm going to show you bit by bit of the puzzle of the picture. Once I begin to start putting the pieces in line for you to see. And this is what this is doing. Abraham, I just was telling you about that last week. Now here he is again. Man, your soul, where does it go? You no longer have your flesh and body to contend with. That's out of the picture now. Now it's just you, God, and whatever else is up the road for you.
Right.
This is Lazarus being taken, transported. Now, what can't think of no better transportation than that? We cry about having and boasting about man in his flesh having long limousines and big pretty cars and all that. What it's like to be carried around and transported from one place to another by an angel. Come on. I can't think of no better vehicle to go in. And went straight to Abraham.
Straight to him.
I'm at. To where this angel takes the beggar who had just died and left the earth now in his body. Now it's his soul. And his spirit man in him now. You're the only two passengers right now with this fella. He ain't even in earth atmosphere no more. Ain't even in earth realm.
Right. He's not in this reality anymore.
People, that's deep. And I know a lot of y'all will get that. I see a lot. feeling a lot of y'all getting that.
He went back to this. Listen, he went back to the source. You hear me? Just like the architect told Neo in the Matrix Revolutions, you got to return to the source. That's where Lazarus went back to the source, right? And linked up with a previous version of the one in Abraham. Remember when the architect told Neo, this is your first time coming here? We just survived your predecessors. We'll survive you. Powerful. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to y'all right now, man? Right? That's deep, Dad.
But when the angel come to get Lazarus, he didn't get his body.
Right.
His flesh. So what did he come and get? Adam had already died. Lazarus was dead. So what did the angel come and carry? To Abraham. And where to did he take Lazarus? And where was Abraham? But in the flesh. So what did he have? The soul and the spirit of Lazarus is what the angel came and retrieved. And took to Father Abraham. Now, I'm going to take you into where Father Abraham was. This is where all souls go. You hear me, you two people? I'm giving you revelation.
Talk to them.
Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear spiritually and physically, Lord, let them hear. That's what the Spirit says. And some of you will bear witness with it, and some of you will later on during the week get confirmation. God's not going to make me out of a liar because he's not a liar. So now, the rich man, he died. And he was buried. See? So they both was buried. The flesh was buried. See, that's what I said before I even got to this verse. God's not going to let me look and make me look stupid. You're going to always have my back. Always. And my son.
You heard me?
So the rich man, he died, and he was buried. And he was in the grave. But he lifted up his eyes and being in torment. Okay, now, the rich man, he in torment. He don't have a body. He's not in flesh. How can he be in tormented? Tormented has to do with pain, feelings, some emotions. Huh? He could see. He said what it says there, Virgil. He said,
yes, hold on, let me go to it. Let me read it real quick, man. He said, the rich man also died and was buried in Hades, where he was in torment. He looked up and saw Abraham far away. With Lazarus.
Go back. Now, this is the word I want them to catch.
Okay.
Also, the rich man died and was buried. And in the grave, he lifted up his eyes. Being in torment, he saw Abraham. Okay, he got vision. He's seeing something.
Right.
But he's in the physical, natural realm. What is this man seeing, and what kind of eyes do he have?
Right.
You people, spiritual eyes. But Jesus said, unless you born again in Nicodemus, in order for you to see into the kingdom of heaven, you got to be what?
You got to be born again, man.
You got to be born of the Spirit.
Born of the Spirit, especially. Les Parker, what's good with you, bro?
He lifted up his eyes in torment. So now he still has his emotions because this is the soul. This is where the soul is experiencing. And so Abraham from afar, he was the distance from him, but it wasn't that far where he couldn't see him, no. But it was a great gap. We can get to that. And he called and said, see, he was in Holland distance, so he couldn't have been that far, but too far, I guess, where he couldn't go from where he was at to where Abraham was, and back and forth. Father Abraham, have mercy on me. He recognized and saw who Abraham was because this was a Jew. This is a Jew. And sent Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water. In water. This is coming out of this man's soul. The rich man. His soul is saying this. And cool my tongue. A tongue, that's fleshly. How you gonna have a tongue in the spirit realm? Makes sense to me. Why would he say tongue and then say water? What's going on here? I'm not really clear up all and any confusion right now. The devil ain't gonna get that one off like that. Come on, devil, you know better than that one. That ain't gonna happen. That's because that even though you don't have your body no more because of your soul and everything about you is in your soul, your feelings, your emotions, it's like you think you still in your body, but you're not. The same way that you was and aware of and knew about everything and was aware of everything when you was in your body, that's the way you're going to be when you get to where you get to in your soul in the spirit realm. That's why John said when he was caught up into the heavens, to the third heaven, so he was caught up. Paul said, whether I was in the body or out of the body, he said, I couldn't tell. Come on. I'm giving y'all scripture background to back up what I'm saying right now.
Back it up. Not only that, just to expound on that a little bit further, right? Just expound on that a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? Caught up. You know what I'm talking about? You're not taking your flesh with you, man. It's not going with you. We got that established, right? So the soul is the intermediary between the body and the spirit. And I'm pretty sure my dad is probably about to segue into this too. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt the need to say that right now. Go ahead, Pops.
Yeah, son. I wanted to be able to clear up for my YouTube family to understand what is going on here and the scriptures that I give them to show and to back up what I'm saying. That is that the reality of it has to sink into them and they have to believe and know that this is real and true. And just receive it and accept it in the way that God wants you to, the way you're supposed to. See? It's one thing when somebody else giving you knowledge or giving you directions or giving you help or anything else.
Right.
But God is giving it to you himself and you are his creation. You're either going to receive it or you're not.
Right.
Jesus, not many. There's going to be a whole lot that's not going to receive me. There's going to be many men that's going to reject me. But because I died for the whole world, every man is going to get that opportunity. Whether he take it or not, that's on him.
Right.
If you don't want to receive salvation of your soul, to continue to save your spirit, man, from going through what it has to go through. Once you leave this vessel, this body, this flesh, because you are a spirit. And this is what this podcast is all about also. There's a lot of good in knowing this about this stuff, not just knowing about death. That's something we got to deal with and accept, because that's going to be anyway. And God don't want that to be the one that holds you and keeps you from going forth and being who you're supposed to be, because that's the trick of the devil. He wants you to keep you preoccupied and afraid and be fearful of death. But you got more life in you than you got death. Death is something for you waiting to happen. Life is what is in you and what's the substance of what you are anyway, and spiritual life. So you grab onto that. That's what you seek after. That's what be your main goal in your life. Not material, physical, tangible things. Jesus said them things come and go. You can't take none of them with you. Coming to play. Job said it best. Into this world he came, he was naked. That's the way you leave out. Naked. Only reason why you don't is because they put clothes on you. But other than that, and that's for man. But you came in here naked, you're going to leave naked.
Right.
But that's what he's trying to do is if you don't understand it. So what I was saying, move along with Abraham, to know you where your soul, okay? Get to know your soul. Not just the spirit man, and you can also your soul. Get to know the whole total sum of you, inside and out, physically and spiritually. Jesus always refers to man in two parts: the physical man, the natural-minded man, and the spiritual-minded man. The spiritual that is in you, as you said, being, the spirit part of you. That's just as real as the physical part of you, and we give too much attention to the natural part of us and totally neglect the spiritual part of us.
Right.
And God want to wake us up from that, because that's the trick of the devil. So Abraham, he's comforting the beggar. But the rich man, he's in torment. So we do be aware of who we are in our soul, but we connected and related to that, the physical and the natural part of us. Okay? That's why Paul, like I said, like John, like you said, Paul, but that's why John said when he went to the Isle of Patmos and when he was called up into the third heaven, he said, now people, he's trying to explain how he felt, because he's writing this now to the church. And he's trying to tell him his spiritual experience and encounter that he had when God called him up into the spirit realm. You know how many people that are living their lives in their flesh that are called up into the spirit realm to be where God is at? No, your flesh don't go there. It ain't the body. It's the part of you as your soul. It's called up. That's why he said whether he was in his body or out of it, he said he couldn't tell. Now I'm saying all I have to say, so this is where it is back in here with Abraham and the rich man. When he said that he wanted water, and he knows about the finger, so he's knows about he relates to body parts. He said his tongue, then he's talking about water, then he said fingers. So he's aware of the physical part of him, but he's not in his flesh. So it's his soul. And you said that I am angry in this blazing fire. What blazing fire is he in?
Right.
What blazing fire is he in? Abraham ain't in no blazing fire. You can see Abraham can see him. And all the souls that where he was at, they was in torment. He wasn't the only one over there. Believe that.
You think that's air you breathing?
Now, I'm ready to bust some y'all's bubble and give you some revelation at the same time, because if I wouldn't think you was ready for it, God wouldn't let me give it to you.
Right.
Because I listen to what my spirit tells me to say and to share. But that fire blaze that he was in, that was the eternal lake of fire. God is a consuming fire. Why would he have a lake? You know how big a lake could be in the spirit realm? Of eternal fire, the same way where he had water held at. But the eternal lake of fire, he says, in this blazing fire. He didn't say that the fire was on him. He said he's in the fire. Chew on that for a little bit, people. That's deep. That's the same fire that was God used when he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
And it was in him, not on him.
And brimstone. That was the same fire that was speaking here right now that I'm reading to you.
And it was in him, not on him, man. The fire was within him, not on him. I'm going to try to understand the difference between the two.
He's in the eternal lake of fire.
Right.
Him and all other souls that is in there with him. And I ain't no telling how many of them was in there, but that's where the souls go. When you don't go over to Abraham, there's only one other place for you to go. But that's your soul, though. But why is he doing these things? Eternal lake of fire. He said, remember, this is what he tells us then. Child, remember that you had your fill of good things in your lifetime, but Lazarus, for his part, received bad things. Now, however, he is being comforted here, but you are in anguish. Then Abraham says, and besides all these things, he said a great chasm, CHASM, has been fixed between us and you. Who is Abraham talking about when he said us? Talking about Lazarus, the beggar that was just brought to him by an angel, and all the other souls that did right and was right before God, so when they go into the bosom of Abraham, that's where those that are in Christ Jesus, when you hear on this earth now, up to the point and day and present time we live in right now, people, it refers to us as well. All your loved ones that is no longer here in this earth with you. That's where they're at. For that point in time. We ain't through with this yet. We still got the spirit part of you to deal with. This is just your soul. And where is that? It's not in the kingdom of God. It's where Father Abraham is at. So I'm thinking that's where all souls go. From the time that it started back then, clear up, and you know when it started? And when Jesus capitalized on that is that when he was dead for 3 days, he went into the earth. And not only that, that's where he went to, and he preached to the souls that died in him on the earth of mankind, so that they would get the gospel and the good news. Heavy, heavy stuff, people.
Sure is, man. I'm over here just soaking it all up, man. Talk to him.
Remember when Jesus wasn't in the earth for 3 days? Same way where this rich man was at? Jesus was there on the other side, where Abraham was. He was with Abraham and all the other souls that had left this earth in the form of flesh before he got here. That's where they all was contained. All the old prophets, the patriarchs, all those that died in Christ, even while he was still on the earth. That was the martyrs. Stephen, when he was stoned, and all the Christians that was killed by Nero and King Herod, you know, and all those that died. Those are the saints and those that who had died.
Right.
It died one way or the other. This is the time that it started up to where we at right now, people. It speaks in the book of Revelation about the saints, okay? These things have already happened, and it's happening still to this day. When Jesus went in the ground for 3 days and he spoke to all those souls that who had died in him, and then there's another thing to that too that I get into, but that's later on up the road too. But for the most of those that who had just recently died in him, that's where they were at, with Abraham. And when he went into the earth, that's what he went to do, to give them the gospel, the good news. Abraham and all them was waiting, not just Gentiles,
right,
but his people. From Abraham on back. Remember, you got to start with Noah. See, the first time he put man on the earth and they multiplied everything, you wiped all them out. So you're starting with the 8th in the ark, and that's Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. That's 8 people. That started creation all over again. And that's where Abraham and everything else is going to start unfolding in the earth with God's plan. So where we at right now. But this is what Jesus did when he came into the earth. So it has to do with us, your soul. Where is it at? Where do it go? What happens to it? It shows you what happens to the soul that don't make it, don't it? Shows you where it ends up at, in the lake of fire. The soul. Why? Because it has to burn off and burn out everything.
Right.
Was in it that was not right from the evil part of the seed that was in man from the beginning back in the garden.
Salute to my brother, Mr. O, with the info in the building. Remember when I told y'all about et salve coagula? That's written on the forearms of the Baphomet. And we're talking about the dissolving of God's creation, his original design. See how everything always match up and link with each other? What we talking about, man? Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. What y'all talking about? Y'all ain't getting this type of teaching nowhere too many other places on YouTube, man. Tap in and walk with us. Get your pens ready. Get your notebooks ready, man. Keep teaching, Pops.
So the rich man is telling Abraham, please, you know that where he was at is real. Just like a lot of people find out once you leave this earth, whatever you think might not be real or can't be real or isn't real, or it has to do with God, anything connected with God, you're going to find out when you no longer here. That's all I can. Nobody never ever came back and told me anything different about the other side, as people say. You know. No, I call it the spirit realm where God is at.
And if it did, it was a goddamn demon. How about that?
God said, once you dead, you dead. Ain't no coming back. No coming back, no kind of way. You know, when you dead, you dead. You don't even remember nothing. That's talking about your body when it's in the dirt. Ain't talking about your soul, because your soul is somewhere else now. And your soul can remember. It has to, because this guy just saying right now about his brothers and his family. Now, however, he is being comforted here. But you are in anguish. I'm reading the 25th verse going into the 26th verse of Luke chapter 16. And besides all these things, he said a great chasm has been fixed between us and you, so that those who want to go over from where you are cannot, neither may people. Now he uses the term people. See? Well, that's because they were human, you know. I mean, like I say, you still in your soul, so you still can relate. That's how we recognize one another. That's another hot off the press revelation just then. That's how we recognize one another. But I know my mama in heaven. Okay, that just confirmed it by what Abraham just used the word people. So we will be able to recognize our loved ones, not just in the way that we recognize them when we down here on earth. That'll still be a part of us in our soul, our memory, our hearts, our spirit. There's no crossover from there to us. Then he said, then being so, I ask you, Father, to send him to the house of my father. Now here's this man, rich man, with Abraham, to send somebody to his family's house. He says, well, I have 5 brothers. He said, in order that he may give them a thorough witness, so that they will not also come into this place of torment. See, he was Abraham to send somebody to tell his people about that place, so they don't come down there where he at.
Right. I tell them, come around here, man.
Make you think about a lot of things. But Abraham says they had Moses and the prophets. Let them listen to these. Then he said, no, indeed, Father Abraham, but if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent. But he said to him, this is what Father Abraham said back to him, if they do not listen to Moses and the prophets, which are on the earth and are alive and living, he says, neither will they be persuaded if someone raised from the dead. If you don't want to hear nothing somebody is alive on top of this earth trying to tell you, why and how would you believe somebody to come back from the dead? That's what Abraham was telling the rich man. Man, how you feel like that?
So all y'all out there, so all y'all out there talk about some praying to your ancestors. There may none of your ancestors you praying to. Let's just get.
Man, my son, we're not trying to bust nobody's bubble. Believe us. really, YouTube family, I love you, YouTube family. I love all mankind. That's the compassion God put in me because that's the compassion of God. He so loved the world. I so love the world. I love mankind, humanity. You're a part of me. I'm a part of you.
Right.
So I would never do anything to hurt or harm you. All right.
Right.
Anything that I could be a part of and helping you getting back into spiritual roots of your life and get you back on the right road like the prodigal son. Because every man has to eventually, sooner or later, come to himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you're still not in the kingdom yet, still come to yourself as being a man who and what you are being on this earth. Come to yourself. That's the worst identity, is not knowing nothing about his self-identity.
Mm.
That just came out of my spirit.
Right. Facebook has 78 different genders you can identify with. None of which are you, or could ever be you. So y'all start praying to y'all's ancestors/incestors. You ain't talking to your God, man. Y'all better relax with that, man. Y'all better make sure y'all know who y'all talking to. Because I'm telling you right now, it ain't none of your ancestors. Go ahead, Pops, man.
And that's all the enemy wants you to do anyway, is to take your eyes and your thoughts and your concentration off of the Almighty, your Creator. Because he knows that once you wake up and are enlightened, and when you start getting a hold of your spiritual heritage and your spiritual roots and who you are, when you reconnect back to God spiritually, you know then you really become an enemy of the devil. Okay? Because you want your loved ones to be set free. You know, it's sad how that our love for humanity is limited and prejudice and selfish, because we supposed to feel like every man like that, our brother man, our fellow man. We are of the same and are of one. Our father Adam, our physical fleshly father Adam, man came from him. All of us, from that point on to now, all still came from him. That's what makes it a oneness. That's what oneness means. It don't make no difference how much of something is in numbers, but what it is in substance.
Right.
We all are of the same and from the same, and not so much even from the physical, fleshly, natural part of us, but the spiritual part of us.
Right.
That's where God hopes for us to reconnect there. If we can't and don't and have a problem reconnecting in the natural, because if you can reconnect with the spiritual, then the natural ain't got a chance no way. That's our enemy. That's where our opposition. We are worst enemies to our own selves, our flesh. That's why God said that he loves about that when he deals with man, and once death takes over the flesh, then God no longer has the flesh to contend with when it got to do with man. He can deal with totally the soul and the spiritual part of him. Because his main goal is to get that part back of himself to him. It's the spiritual part of him that he breathed in Adam when he said, and he became a living soul. I created you in the likeness and the image of who I am as a spirit. And that's what he wants back from you.
He didn't say he created a human being. He didn't say he became a human being or even a human. He said, man, hold on. He said, man became a living soul.
Right, a living soul.
Not a human being.
Not a person.
Definitely not a person, but a living soul. And when we think about the Catholic Church's edict of unum sanctum, which is an inversion of the original design. All souls belong to the Pope, according to unum sanctum, right? But in all actuality, right, not reality, but in all actuality, all souls already belong to capital G, capital O, capital D. I told y'all everything God has in his original balanced design. LSD has a counterfeit of it, or inversion, or sick, twisted, perverted copy of it. Go ahead and talk to him, Pop.
Now, the soul, this is what was going on with the rich man. He was in torment. He was in fire. Like I said, the eternal lake of fire. That's where all souls go that need to be purged. Now, remember when I said that he also used that same eternal lake of fire? That was the same fire that destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It's a purging. What do fire do anyway? You worked in foundries. You know how they do steel and metal and everything, how they melt down steel and coal and different minerals and stuff in the earth, that it takes fire in order to bring it to its natural way. Its naturalness of what it is. That it has to be burnt out by fire. That's what brings it out, the pureness of whatever something is. That what you want the same way with gold. The more that you put fire to gold, the more impurities come up out of the gold. And the hotter the fire is, and the longer it stays in the fire, the more that the gold becomes more and more pure. That's why they says in the streets of heaven are made of pure gold, that they're so pure that it's transparent. But it's gold. Because that's the pureness of what it is. And that's what the eternal lake of fire does. God is a consuming fire. The flesh ain't in there, it's back in the dirt, in the earth. So what process is the soul going through? It ain't so much the soul going through it, it's the things that are being burnt out of the soul. Remember I told you what the soul was, that part of man, 3 parts of man? It's where the emotions and everything that what he did and how he existed and functioned on earth in the flesh was in his soul, as a part of his soul. Just like the spiritual part of him is also within his soul. That's what God is purging, burning out. Bringing all that junk out of the earth that was in us, in our flesh. That was a part of us. All going back to the beginning of the garden where the seed was of good and evil and everything. God said, I will not lose. That's why he will not lose one soul, and that's why all souls are him, because every soul that is in this earth is a part of his spirit in him. You think you don't want his spirit back? That's why he said, I'll lose nothing. He's thinking about himself, his spirit, part of who he is and what he is as a spirit. He ain't going to lose none of it. It's all coming back to him. This thing is coming full circle. I told that one time before, I think I mentioned it on my podcast, that you follow a thing far enough from where it's at, follow it all the way back to the beginning of it. That's where you'll go back to the beginning where it all started. Follow something back far enough, and you can take you back to the beginning. That's full circle. This is what's happening spiritually with God and his plans with his creation and with man and the earth and everything that we know for it to be. So we don't have to fear death the way that we fear death. The spiritual life. This is the third and final part of what man is. He's a spirit made in the image and likeness of God. What is he then? That means he's eternal. He's also physical. And he's spiritual. When everything that has been burnt out of your soul from the eternal lake of fire, once you have no no longer your body, your flesh, and you're not in the earth, and now you're going through different dimensions and different realms. You're now back in the spirit realm or on your way back to the spiritual realm. Now, let me get back real quick to Lazarus, too, because this is a tie into what I'm saying right now. It has been said. But when the rich man find out that he was in there and he couldn't come over where Abraham was, and Abraham couldn't come over where he was at because he's in the eternal lake of fire, that means that all the things that was about him that he was experiencing, they had to be burning out of him because he was talking about he was thirsty. How you going to be thirsty if you don't have a body? So what is going on? So he still have all that junk in him from when he was in his flesh. It had not yet been burnt out by the lake of fire, the eternal lake of fire. God said he's a consuming fire, so that's what he does. Just like I said about when you work in a foundry and everything, and when you melt down metals and precious metals and stuff like that, it takes fire to get the pureness of whatever is out of it. There's so much other stuff mixed into it. That's the process. That's what happens. That's what man goes through. That's what he experienced. Once you understand and know how it is about life and death, it won't have you in such a chaotic state and a fearful frame of mind and being to be. Because like I said before, this is what the enemy wants, And then you will be able to understand what is going on, and you will get on God's program. Because Jesus said that I am the truth and the life. Jesus said, those that believe in me, there is no death. He said he conquered death, grave, and hell, death, and the grave. Took all powers from Satan, stripped him. He said, stripped him of all his powers. They ain't got nothing to do with death.
Right.
Ain't got to do with the hell and the grave. He did them with two different things, three different ways. That has to do with man. Get down there and put Satan in his place so he wouldn't continue to torment and torture man like he had been. Took all his powers from him so he couldn't use on us no more. That's why the devil has no power over you. He can't make you do nothing. He's a deceiver. He's the father of everything that is negative and evil and of evil. He'll make you think what he wants you to think because how he knows, it ain't that he can read your mind. All he has to do is look at your actions and your reactions.
So let's get...
You do.
Right.
You already know what your thoughts are.
Right. So with that being said, you don't have a demon. You don't do what you do because you have a demon. You have a demon because of what you do. Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Share on your social engineering. What's up, y'all? Know y'all tapped into Spiritual Roots Sundays with y'all guy, Virgil, aka Stats with the Facts. Got my pops, Virgil Berry Sr. in the building, man. We sitting here giving y'all this next level teaching, man. Hit that like button, man. Drop a 1 in the chat if you heard something and you're learning something, man. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're hearing something and you're learning something at the same time, man. Now, if anybody got any questions, y'all can go ahead and ask any questions. Tap in. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do this just because I'm feeling good tonight. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody want to ask a question, y'all can ask a question. Spiritual roots of life and death, man. You know what I'm talking about? Spiritual roots of life and death, man. You already know, Uncle Diggity, man. Now, y'all out there in the clouds, man, why don't y'all go ahead and hit that like button, man. You know what I'm saying? I do want to say I appreciate because y'all do be hitting that like button because we got 5 people in here and we got on, let me check, and it's 11 likes. So that let me know y'all in the clouds. Y'all at least hitting that like button. We appreciate that. You know what I'm talking about, man? Let's go.
And let me give people a little bit more understanding about things that they see to not really spend much knowledge for us and have so much fear of that I'm getting ready to bust a lot of bubbles with people about a lot of different things that is out there by the devil and the religious system of men to put fear and to hold man in bondage and fear of the things that he is afraid of when it comes to these types of things, death, hell and all of that. First of all, hell is not so much of a location. People hear me. I'll repeat it again. Hell is not necessarily so much a place of location. It is a state of being in mind.
Now, you remember what we said about being earlier, right? Being isn't real. So when you are in hell, it's a state of mind. It's real in the sense that you can experience it, but not real in the sense that it's your natural state, if you understand what I'm saying. Go ahead, man.
To give a bit more light on, let's talk a little bit more about the rich man with his conversation with Abraham. The rich man is telling Abraham, you know, that he's being tormented in this fire, so he's aware of where he at.
Right.
He can also see where he at. But everything that he relates it to back to his physical, natural body. Because he speaks about his eyes, he speaks about his finger, he speaks about his tongue, he talks about being thirsty.
Right.
Then he works about his loved ones that's on top of the earth. So he got a whole lot going on inside of his mind, from what I can understand. So he's very aware of who he is. And he knows he don't have his flesh. He's not in his flesh. He couldn't tell, just like John said, he couldn't tell when he was caught up in the third heavens that he was there. He was a spirit. John was nothing 100% spirit, but he still, because of the soul part of him, was still a part of him too. And the only thing didn't come up into that realm was the flesh. But all the rest of John went up there with God in the third heavens. You feel what I'm saying? And John related everything that he saw from the natural part of what he could understand being who and what he was physically. But the thing that he saw with his spiritual eyes wasn't nothing like it on the earth physically. That's why God told him to a certain degree, you got to tighten this book up and you got to keep this to yourself. There's certain things you ain't gonna be able to tell nobody. And he told him the book that he gave him, he said, eat this book. He said, it's going to be real sweet and tasteful to you when you first put it in your mouth. But once it goes down that tube and you start swallowing it, he said, it's going to become bitter. Stomach. To where that his stomach reacted to it. He could feel the pain from in his stomach. His stomach wasn't with him because he wasn't in his flesh. But he could still feel what it would feel like if you had a tummy ache. That's how strong and deep and powerful that was what John swallowed. He was swallowing something spiritual that God gave him. Y'all people hear what I'm saying? Then he gave a little description of what the kingdom of heaven looked like. He starts giving descriptions of different creatures and creations other than what we see and know down here on earth. Celestial beings, cherubims and cherubims and angels and all other type of creatures. Angels with a wheel within the wheel. That's turning every which way. People, creatures that had 4 or 5 faces. Come on, people. Read the book of Revelation. John gives a description of when he was caught up into the third heaven and the things that he saw. He said, I've seen so many things. He said, it's even unlawful to even utter on earth. If I say any of these things to any man on this earth, what I've seen in the spirit realm, that lock me up for sure and put me in the lonely bed. The creatures that he saw, that he was saying, so was able to describe the streets of gold. If they was that transparent, how you know they were streets? When did it stop? When did it end? When did it start? How wide was it? Just the angelic creation that he saw. I can imagine John saw all kinds of things. God told him, I'm going to show you some things I want you to write about and put in this book. He said, but a lot of things what I done let you say, you can't tell nobody. You got to keep all this to yourself, John.
That's crazy.
Some of y'all experience that to a degree that God allowed for you to visit and be present in the spirit realm.
Yeah, I know I have.
I've been in the kingdom. I have. I've experienced things, and I share this, and I know I put my head out here on the top of block when I share this with you two people. And it don't bother me because it's true, it's real, it happened. I ain't got to convince you or lie to you about anything.
Right.
It's up to you to decide if it's true or if it's not. But I've had spiritual experiences since I've been saved into Christ, even younger in my days when I first got saved. And the dreams and the visions and the questions that I would go on and the different places I would be in the kingdom of God. I played with the angels before. I love my keyboard. I don't know nothing about music other than when God anointed my hands just to know how to use a keyboard instrument. You know, now everything else I had to figure out for myself, but I know the basis of how to mess with it. I mess with it all the time. Like I was out here, I'm looking at it. But I've had an experience where I was in the spirit realm in the kingdom of God playing with the angels. And things happened to what caused me to pay attention to where they later on when I woke up. Because whenever I wake up out of something like that, when I know it's spiritual, when I know it's of God and about God, and believe me, I have my battles with the devil too, in that same realm. See, because you know when you sleep, your body is in a dormant state, like sort of what Adam was when he was put to sleep. That's why I say he was put to sleep. Sleeping, your body is still there, but they ain't got nothing to do with your soul and your spirit. See? And then that makes you accessible even to the enemy, because you're in that realm there. You hear what I'm saying, people? Your spirit and your soul is in that realm when your body is laying right there in the natural realm. And when you experience those things and everything, that's because you can't disconnect your body from your spirit and your soul. It's hard for a man to do that because these three parts all intertwine into one. So it's hard to separate one from the other. It don't work that way. Wherever one is, that's where the other two is too. Whatever one experience, that's what the other two experience too. Whatever the one knows, that's what the other two knows too. Whatever the one do, that's what the other two is aware of. The other two ain't always doing it or involved in it, but they can be a part of it. Right. Or like dragged and forced along to go with it.
Now, remember in Doctor Strange, if you've ever seen the first movie, Doctor Strange movie, when he was fighting the guys who were the outlaws from Carmitage, man. They was fighting in the spirit realm. They left outside of their physical bodies, and they was fighting each other in the spirit realm. You know what I'm saying? Doctor Strange was a master of the mystical arts, which was demon time.
You hear me?
Say what?
I said I'm gonna step out for a second.
You about to do what now?
Yeah.
Did you go to the bathroom or something, Pops?
Right. I was trying to put it all on the air, but yeah.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Possibly right back, y'all. He got to go take care of some business real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell. Subscribe to the page. You know what I'm saying? Share on your social media, your social engineering and all of that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Your TikToks and your Facebooks and all of that, Instagrams, and you know what I'm talking about, all of that, man. Next level teaching, man. You hear me, man? Right? We're going to break this thing down to y'all every Sunday. We going in, right? Somebody emailed me and asked me why don't we be going in on Saturday, right? Because Saturday we're supposed to relax. That's why. You did. Just relax, 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 because it was meant for you. That's why we don't go in on Saturday, because he's supposed to relax and chill on Saturday. Saturn Day. All right. So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Y'all liking tonight's teaching so far, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you're loving the teaching tonight so far, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you're loving the teaching so far tonight. What you say, Pops?
I said I'm back.
Okay, that's what's up, man. You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, go ahead. Continue, please.
Okay. So I'm just giving a little bit of insight about what it is what happens when man leaves the earth and the different transformations that is soul and that the spirit goes through.
Right.
You know? Because no matter how much you might not think and want to believe that this is real, people, it's real.
Right.
Whether you want it to be or not, you can't stop it from happening. It's everyday way of life, of living. That's just the way God created it and made it for it all to be, and that's the way it is. Like I said, once you know the truth will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps give you a better understanding about death. That's something I have always had an understanding with it. I believe I asked God about that a long time ago, ever since I was a little boy. And I've had some experience in my life, more in my sleep than I did when I was awoke. Because I was constantly in and out and dealing and interacting with the spirit realm, even as a little boy.
Yeah, man.
So it's something that when people think that you're not special, don't ever think that you're not, because God made you and brought you into this world for a reason and a purpose. And everybody is unique and different in their own way. He know what he compare humanity and mankind with, every individual spirit of himself he put into flesh to come down here into this realm, that they are a star. Everyone is a star. And everyone has a purpose for being here. You are unique in your own way. He compares us to snowflakes. There's no two snowflakes that is alike. Don't care how many of them that there is. And even though it all looks the same, that's all it is of the same substance, being something that what it is. But if you put it up under a microscope, every flake has its own individual shape. That's the way every spirit that comes into this world. The spirit of you is the same with of God, but the individual star that you are to be, you are totally different. You're like no other star. Just those two stars out there in the sky right now are the same. People didn't know that. Every star is different. Every star has its own unique body and form and shape and way of being of what it is. Some stars are small, some are bright, some are not so bright. They're all light though. And that's the way we are. That's what he compares us to. But when you understand and know who and what you are spiritually, you'll be able to go on and move on with what God has for you to do on this earth. But my main job for me to do is to get back to where I was at anyway, and that's back in the spirit realm. I can't wait to get there, but I want to be right when I get there. I don't want to go into that eternal lake of fire where this man was at, getting all that junk burned out all of it. That's why I said hell is not so much a place, a location, but it's a state of being. You can be tormented sitting right in your front room.
Now, pay attention, y'all, right? Here's go Revelation. It is a state of being, but it is not being in and of itself. Did y'all hear what I just said? Kind of how like Lucifer wasn't the prince of the air, he was the prince of the power of the air. You understand the difference between the state of being versus actual being itself? Next level type stuff, man. Y'all go ahead, Pops, man.
And it's time for man to wake up. There's a new happening in the earth. See, Jesus said that there would be a lot. His disciples asked him, Lord, tell us when the signs of the times, and when will all these things be that you speak and spoke of and shared with us about what's to come on the earth and what's to come with man and the world? His disciples asked him that. They was aware of all the things that what was going on in the earth, the way man has became, the way man was. They was the only people that knew the truth and had the truth. They were the only ones that knew about the true living God. That's capital G-O-D. The rest of mankind didn't know nothing about who God was. They knew about other gods, little G-O-D. Man is a God himself. Jesus can point that out to the Pharisees and the scribes in the scriptures one time when they were talking about who he was and he was all that because he was preparing himself to be an equal with God. He said, isn't it written in the word that ye are gods? Talking about them. If we come from God, we made in the image and the likeness of God.
But we are not God. And
what are we? Said God came in the flesh.
You already know, Mr. O. We going in, man. Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social media, social engineering. Tell everybody come tap in with us over here at A-Real Talk Podcast Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Spiritual roots. Tonight we're discussing the spiritual roots of death right now. So I guess part 2 is going to be the spiritual roots of life because we really focusing on what death is and what, more importantly, what it is not.
Right.
Talk to them, Pops.
And we are of a black race, but I'm not the black race, but the black race. How many people hear what I'm saying?
Talk to them. Say it one more time for those who may have not heard you.
See, I am of the black race. I'm not the black race. We are of God, but we are not God.
Right.
But we are God's little gods. Right. He made us in his likeness and his image. We have the spirit of him in us. That's what gives us life. Him. It ain't so much your heart. Your heart pumps blood. That's another different story too. But still,
that's another topic for another day, Pops. They ain't even ready for that one yet. I don't think they're ready for that one yet, though, man. I kind of went in on it a little bit when I was dissecting that Hotel California song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when we ain't really get into it for real. But if everybody was watching that, y'all got a real nice little introduction to when we talk about the blood, when I told y'all about the sangria, or what we know is sangria. How many of y'all girls out there ladies out there like sangria wine? Yeah, go ahead, talk to them, Pops, man. I ain't mean to go off tangent like that.
On the footnote, so not just sangria wine, but any dark red wine really represents blood.
Right.
I don't care what kind it is.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like you were saying, though, so this is where we are at, where we wanting to wake up knowing who we are, okay, and understanding this, all right? Understanding who you are, you know. Jesus came down here to enlighten us, to light our spiritual candle, so to speak. You know, to reunite us back to who we really are and where we really come from. You know, you can't just take part of something of you and say, okay, and be accepted with that and not want to accept all the other part of you. You don't neglect your left hand when you're giving your right hand attention. You don't neglect certain parts of your body if you're not supposed to be taking care of your body. I'm just speaking now. You those know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But you don't neglect one part of yourself and take care of the other part. You take care of the whole sum of you. But this is what God is doing with him, with his creation. This investment in man is the spirit part of him that he put in man. That's what he wants back. That's all that is important. But man still in the natural has his place and his part to play here in the earth.
Right.
Like when I do. So when you lose a loved one, like I was saying, this is all I'm trying to do is give a cushion for those to understand and have a better understanding. I just didn't just focus on just death and dying, you know, because life is also a part of that, but it's the life is what I want you to focus on and lock into. Because if you get life like you're supposed to get it, then you don't have no fear of death, and death can't touch you no way.
So with that, right. So that goes death as we experience it in this reality, like I said earlier, is an illusion based off of what my pastor said. You know what I'm saying? And like I always be telling y'all, it's an illusion. It's not real. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? The body dies. That's not who you are. That's what you are. You feel me? You got to understand the difference between the two. Because when you identify with what you are, who you are, becomes, how could we say, dormant, if y'all understand what I'm saying. You think that'd be a good word for it, Pops?
What's that, sir? I was looking up the scripture I wanted to read.
Never mind. That's all good. What's the scripture you got rolling up?
I'm trying to find the part where Jesus was telling us that in him, them that believe in him, there is no death to those that are in Christ Jesus.
Right.
We speak about that you are not being able to die even in your flesh physically if you get yourself right spiritually where you're supposed to be. Now that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but it's meant for me to say it, so I'm saying it. Yeah. And I'm not trying to retract it, and I'm not ashamed that I've said it.
Right. You shouldn't be, man, because it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful right there. You know what I mean? That's
ears to have ears to hear.
Exactly.
Because based on what Christ said, Jesus said, they are now, not only that, but there are now no condemnation in those that are in Christ Jesus. This is the whole, thank you. That's why I love the Holy Spirit, because if you believe in God and the Holy Spirit, when you need something, the Holy Spirit is right there to give it to you, because then God will give it to him to tell me. And that's just what happened. Now about the Holy Ghost and how this works, okay? The same way that the woman at the well, anybody familiar with that situation when Jesus and his disciples were traveling and spreading the word? And they got guards, so they stopped at Jacob's well. And the Samaritan, this is like a Gentile woman. She was outside of the Jewish race. You know, she was like a reject to them. You know, the Jewish people had anything to do with the Samaritan. But she's at the well getting water. And she sends Jesus, and he's tired, you know, because he did feel the same things we feel in our flesh. He got tired. He got exhausted. He got hungry. He had body odor. Everything what we go through and experience in our flesh, he also did it in his people, believe me. That's why he was touched with all types and every infirmity that what we can experience, he was touched with it. Didn't affect him like it did us, but still he felt it just as good as he did. You think when they beat him and crucified him and whipped him, you think he didn't feel those? The blood that came up out of him, another revelation. And speaking about the blood, but just come in this way because this is what I'm talking about. There's no man on earth in the natural could have took the beating that he took with the whip they whipped him with and lived. They would have bled out instantly, even before he would never got to the 40 lashes plus one. Hit him 40 times plus one, that's 41 times, and the end of those ropes, that whip that they hit him with, it had spikes in it. Chunks of spice of steel, that when it grabbed the flesh, that when they pulled it out, it would snatch and take flesh with it. Literally tearing his back apart to where it looked like shredded cabbage. But he didn't die. Why? Because he was life. Can't kill life. Why didn't any other natural man would have bled out? That's revelation. That's what God showed and shared with me. But about the woman back at the well, she's thirsty. He's tired. He's thirsty. He offered her water. He offered her water. She said, I don't have nothing that anyone can give me with it. I can dip up out of here. Your people, they said that, we ain't supposed to come to this well, because water represented life anyway. Water always represented life. When you're thirsty, it gives the body everything. That's the only fruit that goes in your body that gives it what it wants, and there's no other liquid that man can make. And any other liquid that man makes, he has to make it from water. Believe me, people, it all comes from water first. I don't care what it turns out being when you get it. Before it all said and done, it starts out with water. But she didn't have nothing to dip it out of the well with. So Jesus said, I tell you what, better than this. I got some water that you can have that you ain't got to never ever come back to this well again. And worrying about getting water because you thirsty. I got some water that you never have to worry about. She asked him, well, what kind of water is this that you got? I would say Satan with the lake. Now his disciples, they all somewhere getting food or doing whatever they're doing. This is just Jesus and a woman at the well. That's why I love about God's stories that he gives us in his word to let us know how real this is, people, and that it did happen. And he shared it with his creation. Is him, a part of him. He said, you know, this is all told a part of you. This is what I did for you. This is what all this is for you.
Back. That was close. Back on the team.
And he was telling her, so he got a little bit of history about her to let her know that he's saying who he is. So she heard about him, but she never saw him. Like the rest of Gentiles have. A lot of Gentiles heard about Christ, never saw him, was never able to hear him, but they heard about him. And from what they was hearing about him, it touched their spirit, their soul, their heart. So they're seeking now. They want to know. They know something different going on in the earth. This is another man that we never heard or seen before, of its kind ever. His people were the only ones that was blessed to know who the real, true, living God was. Everybody else didn't know. They just heard of him.
Right.
Just heard of him. Some either believed it or they didn't. And the only proof that they had was when Jesus came on the scene. So they was really wanting to see him, you know, this man is bringing something different that we never seen or known before. But anyway, at the well, so he telling her, you know, well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you this water to where you ain't never got to come back to this well again. Because he was saying many times we have to come back to this well constantly to get water. Now you telling me you got some water that I can get one time and I ain't got to never come back to this well no more? Really, woman? Really? Jesus said, okay, yeah. But tell me this. First, go get your husband. She said, I don't have a husband. He said, I know you don't. And the last 5 you claimed that was your husband's. Wasn't your husband's either. He was able to get into her life and tell her something personally about her life that he knew where she was at being in a sinful, fallen state. That's what he come for. But the sick, the lame, the poor, the destitute, the one that was hungry, the one that was seeking, the one that was suffering. She said, well, we heard about you and your people and your kind and your God, but that's about as close as we can get. It was even times when that I was even eating crumbs off of the table that fell off of him when he would be listening about people telling them the story about Jesus, and the other Gentiles, race of men would be listening to it, and their spirits hungry, and their hearts and their souls aching and wanting to know something new and different. So she said, right, and you are, lady. He said, you're right, because she then confessed to him, you know, that this man told me about everything that I ever did. So she said, well, give me this water so I don't have to come back again. And she said, and I want to know who this prophet is. He said, well, if I was to tell you that who this prophet was, would you believe it? She said, yeah, show him to me. He said, it is I, the one that you've been talking to. It blew her away.
Right.
He said, I give you the water that come up out of you like a spring, everlasting, so that you will never thirst and you will never die. Eternal life. So I'm saying all that when I said that you don't have to deal with physical death if you get where you're supposed to be spiritually, because that would make God a liar. Jesus said, there's no death in Christ. He took the keys and the power from death. If he in you and he's life, how you gonna die? Another footnote. They couldn't kill Jesus. He told them, you can't kill me. You don't have no power to kill me. He said, I choose to lay my life down. And I will lay it down and I will pick it back up in 3 days. How we can die if we got the power that he gives us once we get saved and born again in him. And he gives us his spiritual powers to show you it ain't impossible to have, because Jesus had it. He was in flesh. I don't even question the fact about that he was God and he was all that in flesh. I'm not disputing that he wasn't an eternal God. The Godhead, everything that what we know is. I question that he did it in the same kind of body I got. our flesh. Everything that he did supernaturally, he did through his flesh and in his flesh. Then he passes that on to me, so that means I don't have it. Come on, people. You either believe it or you don't. And you use your supernatural power without even knowing it. Every single day you wake up, people, you use your spiritual power that you have. Because everybody has it, whether it's good or bad, negative or positive. You got it. You got it in your tongue. You got it in your thoughts. You got it in your mind. All you got to do is speak it, think it, and say it, and it'll come to pass. If it's in this earth, if it's natural, if it's physical, if it's tangible, you can make it happen, and you can get it, and you can do it.
That's why it's so important to watch what you say and have an inner understanding of words and language, because when you are spelling in this reality, you are literally speaking in the language of the entities that have taken over this reality. Do you understand what I just said? Layman's terms, demons run this reality. All right. And they're seeking to forever sink and leak human beings in our fallen state to the hive mind collective of Lucifer, Satan, the devil, to the point to where it has inverted literally everything, the threefold paradigm of the mind, the body, the soul, or the soul, the body, and the spirit, right? And we have Lucifer, Satan, the devil. See what I'm talking about when it's inverted? Yeah, man, y'all ain't getting this level of teaching nowhere else, man. Hit that like button, man. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. We about to get up out of here, man. Pops, man, would you want to say something about part 2 leading in the next week or something?
Yeah, we go on to part 2. I think that it's enough being shared tonight for them to digest on, to chew, to think over, and let it sink into their spirits and their hearts and their soul, you know. And, you know, it's always more, you know. It's just like unfolding or unpeeling an onion, you know. There's many, many layers, you know. So I enjoyed the night. I hope everyone else really got something out of it. There's a whole lot more that can be covered, you know. But like I said, I always got to say something for next week. You know, that's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps you wanting to be knowing more and wanting more. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't force or make you take or receive anything that I say. Because it's all up to you to choose to or not to. But I know because of what it is that I'm sharing with you that it's good, it's positive, and it's what God wants. So it'll do what it's supposed to do. It'll go where it's supposed to go. And those who's supposed to receive it will receive it. So I enjoy your time and your attention tonight. Like I said, I hope you have something out of it. May God bless you all for the week that is ahead. Get us prepared for the winter that is getting ready to come. May He continue to walk before you and bless you and keep your eyes open and your ears open and keep the enemy off of your back so much. Can't say permanently because that'll never happen as long as you're down here, you know, but you can keep him off your back because he'll go away for a little bit. If he did God like that, how much more he ain't going to do us like that? He said when he tempted him in the wilderness, after the 40 days and 40 nights of temptation, he said then he left him for a season. Y'all always remember that. You'll never, ever get rid of the devil. You'll just temporarily get him away from you. You know, he'll go away and leave you alone until he can come up with something better for you. Because he got to go back and he got to recheck his straps and he got to redo his strategy on you, you know, because he's saying you're getting smart. You're aware of him. You know how he operates. You know how he works. You know how he moves, and you know who he moves through and to and with and for. All right, like you said, we're not alone out here. And the only way the enemy can get at you is through other people. I'll say that. I don't care who get mad at me either. But that's how he uses other people, is to get to you. And the only one he can get to you is those who are closest to you. You don't get to people that are far away or distant from you or in your life every now and then or every once in a while. He gets to those that is a major part of your life. Okay? So it's the one that's closest to you. It could be a brother, a sister. It could be your man, your woman, your wife, your children, your friends. It don't make no difference who it is. It's that you got to recognize who he's using and when he's using it. And knowing how to use love and not attack your loved ones, you know, but knowing who it is. You know, It's always recognize who the enemy was. You got to recognize who the enemy was. So be aware of that, you know, and have a blessed good week. And like I said, that's all I have to say no more. Continue to pray for me, and I'll pray for y'all. And we'll pray for each other, and we both together, between you and I, we'll get this thing done. Have a good week, and I'm out.
You already know, Pops. I'll hit you up, man. I love you, man.
All right, love you all. Love you, son.
You already know, Pops.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. So y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know how we do it over here. Spiritual Roots Sundays, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about? We had Pops on the phone, dropping heavy game and jewels, as he always do. You know what I'm talking about, man? We in the building tonight. Good looking out, Mr. O. You already know, man. Tomorrow night we going in. You hear me? Tomorrow night is going to be a beautiful situation, man. You know what I'm talking about, y'all, man? Tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night, Monday night, A Real Talk podcast, we're going to be discussing the classic book, Behold a Pale Horse by Bill Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Y'all look into the video list I got popping on my situation. You're going to see it on there. That's the thumbnail to say, Behold a Pale Horse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. We're going to dissect and break down this, but we're going to get into it. This is a classic novel. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say a novel. It's actually kind of like an instruction manual for real. Shout out to Bill Cooper, man. Rest in the essence to Bill Cooper, man. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to get into who he is and was, you know what I'm saying, tomorrow night. So y'all tap in for that. Tuesday night, me and L going in. You already know Tuesdays, how we do it any Tuesdays. We definitely going to be discussing, right? We definitely going to be discussing, is the Black truth illegal, right? And it's going to be a deep conversation, man. How about that, man? You feel me? Oh, you said you was literally thinking about it, so maybe you can tap in tomorrow, Mr. O. We going in Monday night, 9 o'clock my time, so that'll be 8 o'clock your time. You know what I'm saying? So we going in, we're going to be breaking down, dissecting. You hear me getting to it, correlating and connecting. You know what I'm talking about? And we're going to definitely have a beautiful show tomorrow. This is beautiful as the night. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit that like button, man. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Share your social engineering. Y'all already know what it is, man. Do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Thank everybody for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere in the world, man, but y'all tap in with me and my pops, man. I love that, man. I respect that. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We got in Wednesday, y'all might want to definitely tap in on Wednesday. Hopefully Patreon let me know everything is good by then, man. I guess they still reviewing my page, whatever that means. But you know what I'm saying? Wednesday, y'all ain't gonna want to miss Wednesday. You hear me? Because Wednesday, you hear me? We going in. Demon Time music. I'm gonna put Earth, Wind, and Fire off. I want to keep on this trajectory I'm going on right now because it's a reason to why I'm doing this. It's a method to the madness. So Wednesday we're gonna be discussing Ozzy Osbourne. You hear me? We're gonna be discussing Ozzy Osbourne. You know what I'm saying? And what we're really gonna be discussing, I wanted to word it a certain way in the title. I didn't want to put this in the title. I didn't want to put his name in the title. But what we are going to be discussing on Wednesday for exposing the Demon Time music industry concerning Ozzy Osbourne, we will be discussing his song, his ode. You feel me? I'm talking about this is an ode to none other than Aleister Crowley. We're going to get into it, man. He has a song by the name of what I just said, you know what I mean? And we're going to get into it and dissect it and break it down. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all ever heard that song by Ozzy Osbourne before? How many of y'all know what song by Ozzy Osbourne that I'm talking about? How many of y'all know? What song I'm talking about? Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on. This is what we're going to be going in on tomorrow. Yeah, you already know, Uncle Diggity. We're going in on this tomorrow, man. You hear me? I couldn't fit the whole picture in the thumbnail, but yes, I did. I'm tripping. I did. I was able to get it in there. I did. I cropped it enough on my phone so when I posted it on the thing, you can see it. We're going to be getting into this, and that's him right there. So we're going to be getting into this tomorrow night. You hear me? Wednesday night, we get into the spiritual roots, exposing, or should I say, I said spiritual roots, exposing the demon time music industry, Ozzy Osbourne edition, breaking down his song, Mr. Crowley. You hear me? And Uncle Diddy, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you too, bro. That song he got. Yeah, man, you gotta make sure you get your own copy. All right. And this is how you know they keep track of who has the book, because I don't care what bookstore you go to, it's always gonna be either one or two copies of that book there. No more than two. That lets me know they keep track of who has this book or who purchased it. I should say that. Yeah, we're going to be dissecting that tomorrow night, y'all. So make sure y'all tap in and walk with us, man. Yeah, man. That's this dude, Ozzy Osbourne, man. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's a trip, man. So thank y'all for coming out, man. We appreciate it over here, man. We about to get up out of here, man. My brother Red Supreme TV1 is going in at, hold on, let me get the time for y'all real quick. Red about to be going in at 11:35 in about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Red gonna be going in over there at Red Supreme TV1. You know what I'm saying? Can't hold a brother down. You know what I'm saying? You got the agent provocateurs and the rat bastard snitches trying to flag guys in the midstream and all that crazy stuff. But it ain't work, man. We still here. We still cooking. And we going in. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button on the way out, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page and all of that. I'm leaving y'all with some of this Drip to Don, my young brother who was on the show last night. You know what I'm saying? This song is so fire. I love this song, man. It's one of my favorite songs by him. You know what I mean? Definitely want to bang this out right here. Make sure y'all go check my young brother Drip to Dawn off on Instagram and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Go check that show from last night out. Go watch a replay of it. You know what I'm talking about? We dropped heavy game, man. And when y'all see my little homie blow up and all of that stuff, man, just remember where y'all heard him at and saw him at first, man. Right here on Ever Talk Podcast. So y'all have a good night, man. We in the building. We exiting the building now. Tap in with my brother Red Supreme TV1 over here at 11:35 p.m. in about 45 minutes. Make sure y'all tap in and walk with us. I'm pretty sure we're going to be having a good discussion over there too, man. The discussion is and will be Black women are pandering to men in the manosphere and getting paid. So make sure y'all tap in and walk with us, man. You know what I'm saying? My brother Red Supreme TV1 going in about 45 minutes. This is a song by my brother Young Drip to Don out of Columbus, Ohio, man, by way of Zambia, Africa. You hear me? This is as far as song he got called Wasted, man. Y'all enjoy y'all's evening, man. Make sure y'all tap in tomorrow night. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page and all of that, y'all. Young homie Drip the Dime, man. Young, talented brother.
You need this? Yeah. Man, he made the beat. I've been cooling, but sometimes I find myself up in my feelings. I've been trying to call your line, somehow I can't get to the healing part. I blame myself for being so misunderstood. Cause I'm sending mixed signals, sometimes I'm bad, sometimes I'm good. I put you first, even over myself, even over my wealth. I mean, even over my health. But still, time and time again, less of regrets. But still, I won't even sweat you ever since. Technically, I can't be mad, but a shirt can't be hurt. How you gon' call me reckless when my heart straight through my shirt? They say talk is cheap, but I swear your words they work. Some diamonds, even when the light ain't shining, they still work. Can't never replace you, that's why I cry, I cry. Hopefully I move on. Hold my light up and stay strong. You give me the time of day, so don't be surprised when you find me gone. And I said, wasted. All this time, all this patience, that's the crime when I was paging on. Baby, somehow I'm crying over you, or you lied us for the truth. I said, wasted. All this time, I wasted patience, that's the crime when I was paging on. Baby, somehow I'm crying over you, or you lied. I've been struggling with the lies and the fiction. This ain't no ordinary trial, it's a prison. Ain't no ordinary life, it's a mission. It's just a temporary pile of collision. Maybe it's me, maybe my soul planted deceit. Back-to-back conversations about the future we would dream. Action-packed memories, the time I see you in my sleep. Ruling the world together, but now somehow I can't breathe. To get it straight, we move at different rates. My time has been misplaced. Lose my backbone, but that day I swear I see you go and break. But hopefully I'll move on. I'ma light up and stay strong. You give me the time of day, so I'll be surprised when you find me gone. I said, wasted. All this time and all this patience, press the climb while I was paging on. Baby, somehow I'm crying over you. Meanwhile, you lied, that's when the truth I said. Wasted. All this time and all this patience, press the climb while I was paging on. Baby, somehow I'm crying over you. Meanwhile, you lied, that's when the truth I said. Wasted. All this time and all this patience, press the climb while I was paging on. Baby, somehow I'm crying over you, or you lied us for the truth I said. Wasted. All this time I wasted patience, press the car while I was paging on. Baby, somehow I'm crying over you, or you lied us for the truth I said.